This program is rated PG. It contains themes and scenes which may not be suitable for very young audiences. Parental guidance is advised.
Be advised that the views and opinions of the hosts and guests do not reflect those of the station.
Maray na banggi sa Indogabos, mahupay nga gabi, hayong nga tanan dida. Maayong gabi sa tibok Luzon, Visayas, Mindanao, up to Sabah. Magandang gabi po sa inyong lahat. Ako po si Espina at ito ang inyong nag-iisang republika. Meron na pong gasgas na kasabihan na tumutugon na sinabi ni Rizal na ang kinabukasan o ang pag-asa ay nasa kamay ng ating kabataan. Subalit, meron namang baliktad na nagsasabing ang hindi lumingon sa pinanggalingan ay hindi makakarating sa paroroonan. So, paano tayo tutulay sa dalawang kasabihan na ito ni Rizal? Ang malinaw po ay ganito. Ang henerasyon o ang bawat saling lahi ay nakatungtong lamang sa malalaking balikat ng ating mga magulang at sa ating mga nakatatanda. Dahil sa bawat henerasyon, ang aral na ipinamamana ng ating mga magulang at ng ating mga nakatatanda ay siyang nagiging matibay na suhay o pundasyon ng ating pamilya, ng ating bayan at ng ating kinabukasan. Kaya po, sa gabing ito ay ang tinig at panauhin na ating kakausapin ay manggagaling po sa mas nakatatanda sa atin. Marapat lamang po na sila ay ating kakausapin upang tayo'y maakay tungo po sa susunod na mga taon at susunod na kabanata ng buhay ng ating bansa. Ang ating panauhin ay kilalang-kilala ko po. Siya po ay dating SSS Administrator sa batang edad na 31. Siya po ang may kinalaman sa pagpapatayo ng gusali dyan po sa Quezon City. Siya po ay 2 beses na naging gobernador ng Cebu. Siya din po, liban sa lahat, ay naging Secretary of Public Works, Transportation and Communication. Ngayon, yung 2 kagawaran na yun ay pinaghati na sa 2. Siya din po ay naging Presidential Advisor o Troubleshooter. Higit sa lahat po, siya din po ay nakipaglaban sa panahon ng diktadurya, naging Secretary General ng United Nationalist Democratic Organization, kasama si Salvador Doy Laurel at Ninoy Aquino. Siya po ang isa sa 4 na buhay pa rin na kasama natin sa 7th Congress ng Pilipinas. Ito po ang kongreso na sa 24 ay 13 po ay mga bar top notchers. Pasensya na po kayo, ipapakilala ko po sa inyo si Senator Rene Espina, ang aking ama po. Good evening.
Good evening, Eric.
Okay.
Well, good evening to the audience. It's been a long time I haven't shown myself on television, and I congratulate you for finally persuading me to join in your program. Maayong gabi kaniyong tanan, and for those in Zamboanga, buenas noches a todos.
Gusto ko lang po ipakita doon sa mga hindi po nakakaalam at yung mga bagong salinlahi. Sino po ba yung mga kasama niyong mga kaklase sa 7th Congress? Baka pwede lang natin ipakita sa audience natin. Tayo po live nga pala, kaya pwede kayong tumawag, pwede kayong mag-text, yung mga komento ninyo. Yan po mga kasama ng aking ama. Kaya mabibigat po dyan ang mga kasama niya. Sila Salonga, sila Ninoy, Pelaez, si Dominador Aitona ay isa pong CPA, bar top notcher. Iilan na lang po ang natitira mula sa kanila. Kaya kinakausap na po natin itong 7th Congress na ito. Ito po ang pinakamatindi at pinakamabigat na iniluwal na senators sa ating bansa. Okay, Senator Espina, nagbabasa po kayo ng mga nangyayari sa ating bansa. What's happening to our country? And I'm sure the first thing that came into your notice was the issue on pork barrel. People would like to know, how did the 7th Congress handle pork barrel, or did it even exist during your time?
Well, it did not exist in this kind of setup that it's being done. Senators usually are congressmen who wanted to have special projects. We had a Public Works Act, and then you amend the budget law and all that, and then you include your favorite projects like roads, like school buildings, like high schools, and what have you.
Okay. So, ang mangyayari nito, for example, ako if I'm a local official, or I don't know if may NGO kayo noon, if I'm an NGO, I come to a congressman or a senator. Can I present this project to you?
There was no such thing as an NGO.
Okay.
Our allocation, if any, we would call that, we would put it in the Public Works budget.
Okay.
And from there, you ask the President to release your Public Works budget, let's say for a road in Cebu or for a bridge in Ilocos or wherever.
Okay.
That's how it was done.
But unlike before, did you have a 200 million peso automatic budget that you could look forward to in the next 6 years? I'd have 1 billion.
Well, you know what? We have to put this in the proper perspective, because I think at that time the salary of a senator, if I'm not mistaken, this has been a long time ago, was I think 17,000 pesos, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay.
That was the salary of a senator.
Uh-huh.
And the president, I think, was, again, if I'm not mistaken, was about 40,000 pesos a month.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. That's all. The peso-dollar rate was about, at the time of President Macapagal, it was, I think, 3 pesos more or less to $1. During the time of President Marcos, it was, I think, about that, 360 to 4 pesos to $1. Now it's 44 pesos to $1.
Uh-huh.
The minimum wage law, the minimum wages
Uh-huh.
was 4 pesos a day. A teacher would be earning 120 pesos a day. And yet, because of the purchasing power of the peso,
Uh-huh.
dahil sa halaga ng peso, para maintindihan ng mga audience natin
Uh-huh.
na hindi masyado marunong mag-English, ang 120 pesos, 120 pesos, sobrang-sobra na para pagkain, para pagpadala sa mga bata sa eskwela, para pagbayad sa mga kailangang babayaran.
Uh-huh.
Kasi ang jeepney noon sa Cebu, at least 10 centavos lang ang sakay sa jeepney.
Okay.
Kung malayo, 20 centavos.
Pero did you have this thing called pork barrel or PDAF, in the sense that every senator, once elected, can look forward to 200 million?
We never had that. In fact, the budget was, I think, very small at that time.
So you didn't have that 200. So every
No,
senator
no.
getting elected was not looking forward to 200 million, or even there was no such amount.
That is a fantastic amount, especially during our time, Eric. There was no such thing. Because the national budget itself was very small.
So the only way that you could come up with public works
Was-
is if you enroll it in. Are you saying it should be enrolled in the GAA?
You make sure that your favorite public works project is inserted in the public works bill so that it will be approved into law. And then once it's approved into law, we ask the president to release your particular school or particular project, and that's how it's released, because it's in the public works bill.
What is the advantage of that system over the current one, where the senator, even before he has taken his oath, is already counting the money before he's even taking his oath?
There is a point, by the way, Eric, that
Yes,
I'd like to tell you.
Yeah.
At that time, we had a line budgeting system.
Okay.
Lahat ng mga janitor, lahat ng mga teacher, lahat ng mga pangalan nandyan sa budget.
Uh-huh.
Line budgeting, walang lump sum eh.
Okay.
Hindi kagaya ngayon, lump sum. Kaya nandyan yung medyo, what shall I say,
Okay, Senator,
leeway.
wag mo munang pasukin yung line item. Yung punto na lang na yun, yung binanggit ko kanina na, what is the advantage of the system where in your time, walang 200 million na pagpasok ng senador, hindi pa nga siya nagtitake ng oath, nagbibilang na siya na, wow, 6 years ako dito, 1 billion ang tatanggapin ko. What's the difference with your time? That you weren't looking forward to that. You weren't counting already the money.
We were working hard so that our favorite projects for all over the Philippines will be inserted into the budget. We did not look into a lump sum 200 million where an NGO would come to us and say, boss, ganito, boss, you release that to me because you know already what I mean.
And then, anong bentahin nun na yung pera para sa public works is enrolled into the legislative mill?
Dahil makikita naman ng mga tao kung ginamit ba for a particular project.
Usually is that debated among senators kung nakita na, oy, bakit ikaw may project ganito? Does that usually happen?
Well, so far as I know, there was no such thing because everyone had an opportunity to insert his favorite project.
In short, it was transparent.
Transparent, yes.
Okay, we'll just give way to telephone number 4769. Very nice episode tonight. Mabuhay kayo. Dapat ang mga buhay pa ng mga senators before martial law ang mamuno sa isang Save the Nation Council. Ferdy Passion, Nationalist Filipinos Organization or not Phil. Nanonood pala ito si Ferdy. Thank you very much, Ferdy. So, okay, now you made another point. Regarding line item, why line item during your time?
This was the practice during my time. I think this lump sum budgeting happened already after martial law. But before martial law, everything was line item. To the last janitor, his name will be there. So we had a very thick budget proposal book. So you will know exactly where the money was going. So every item is there for expenditure. Now, of course, there was some leeway about, for example, intelligence, all that. And there were some items, but there were very few items, if at all, that were, shall we say, in lump sum form.
Okay.
Everything was line item. And I would suggest that if it's not too difficult, that many of these items in the budget, in the present budget, should be line item. For example, to pay for the loans that we have abroad, why not put it in the budget? Why is it automatic? Why is it automatic paying for loans? Why not put it in a particular budget that this year we are going to pay so much of our loans? Next year we'll pay so much for our loans, and so on and so forth.
Shouldn't Congress, as part of its oversight functions, be able to debate whether a particular loan or how much of a particular loan should be paid? And it should not be automatic?
Yes, I agree with you, Eric. It should be the Congress, which has the power of the purse, who should decide what loans to pay. For example, there was this very big issue on the nuclear plant.
Yes.
Where, if I may quote, he just died, I'm sorry to say, my condolence to the family of the late Senator Paterno.
Yes.
When Senator Paterno was still a member of the cabinet during martial law, he was quoted by the New York Times, I think, if I'm not mistaken, when he said that for the price of 2 nuclear plants,
Okay.
we got 1. He was implying that there was a 100% overprice. So, this is what is needed. You have a transparent payment of loan. And for my part, perhaps we should have asked the United States to forgo the payment of the nuclear plant that was obtained during the martial law regime. Because
Hold on to that statement. We're going to pause for a few reminders, and we will continue with the points that Senator Espina is making when we return.